came up with is half that actually takes you in both directions. If you see, the half takes you down and up. Half and whole I'm using as acronyms. And by half, I mean someone who is not feeling complete, and he or she feels void, and it is coming out of emotions that are created by challenges. And it is an emotion of hurt, we can all relate to that, emotion of anger, loneliness, and frustration. And I feel that we need to experience those emotions, and we heard during the past couple of days how much we gain by experiencing challenges. And when we have, and I said that we need to experience those emotions, we cannot function because we fall on survival mode, fight or flight. So it is instinctive to get out of that. So we have created the whole, which is complete, integrated, and there is no missing parts. I'm using two wholes. I will start with the secular whole, which is, if you go to the second page, you will see half and whole, and you can go along with me and fill out. Here we have hurt, anger, loneliness, frustration or fears, and we have whole, which is worth. It's very important. In order to feel integrated, we have to have worth. We have to have substance. We have to have money. We have to have something that will make us not feel half. We need to be happy. We go to places. We go to concerts. And nothing wrong with that. It's very important. And we say, I need to be happy. That is the only way I can function. I have to be optimistic. We just came out from dealing with challenges. Good news will have to come now. We cannot think of any more bad news. We have to have L. We have to be loved. ED in the end. We have to be loved. My goodness. We have to be loved. And for E, we have to be empowered. This will help us deal with the challenges that come our way. Okay, I want us to put all this on the side for a second. And I want us to go now to God's plan for us. So God is not one, it's three. We have how it is depicted, the Holy Trinity, with the angels that visited Abraham. And God is not only that which applies to relationship, right? Three means that there must be some kind of encounter, some kind of interaction. It is not one, it is three. And He created us in His image. So He brings that to us. And I will explain how. God also is love, is forgiveness, is sacrifice, and most of all, is being humble. So, having this in mind, this is what I came up with, and I need your help here. Okay, God is Trinity, which means the family is the relationship. And we can go back and we can see how the very first miracle was a miracle of a wedding. So it is that kind of relationship that God wanted us to be. He did not plan for us to be alone. And we see today our parents go to, to nursing homes. We have abortions. We have all kinds of situations where we try to break what He wanted for us. And also, it was a sanctified hall. Remember, I gave you the secular hall. Let's see now, looking at this picture, how we can come up with a sanctified hall. W is warm. H, we can borrow it from that role model that he gave us, is humble. O, it is open. L, it is loving, ing, giving love. And E is empowering. This is what I feel. This is how I feel. This was how we can interpret his plan for us. Now, we're going to go to the two relationships that we are very familiar with. The first relationship, the first marriage, is between husband and wife. Okay, here we have these two that madly love each other, and they make commitments and make promises. I want you to wait and go back to the page where I said that people, when they are challenged, they get half. And if the relationship is based on two people, guarantee either both or one will become half at any point in their lives. They're going to be half. Then what happens to the marriage? Okay, they will become whole. And whole, the secular whole, is I have to be happy, so I'm going outside, or I have to be happy, and we are going to get on addiction, or I'm going to be, and the list goes on and on, because it is still surrounded in myself. So that is scary news. Now let's go into the Orthodox marriage. In the Orthodox marriage, everything is here. I'm going to go there and point at the Bible. And I'm pointing at the Bible because, we can go to the next. Here, listen, remember the Bible. Here, it is what I just described. Husband and wife goes in and out, in and out, in and out, depending on whether they're half, they're whole, it is conditional whole, what is the deal? But let's go to the Orthodox marriage. In the Orthodox marriage, husband and wife does not necessarily depend on the relationship between themselves. They have a relationship with God. And when they have a relationship with God, God can keep them anchored. And we will go on with that later. So even if I cannot stand my husband or I cannot stand my wife, if I was a guy, then I have a relationship with God, and that is pretty much helping me anchor myself with this sanctified whole. And in the sanctified whole, it's not about being happy. It is about not touching it with a 10-foot pole. I have an expression which we will see it later, but I'm bringing it up now, the expression of go by milk. Remove myself from the situation without saying, you know what, you are impossible, I cannot stand you, I'm out of here. None of this. I have to go to the bathroom. Couple of minutes of going out, of removing myself from the situation and keeping in my mind that kind of whole, of the sanctified whole, can really give me that little bit of not creating that kind of friction with my spouse. Okay, so far so good. There are two types of families. The family that is having, that is based on secular, and based on secular means that there are challenges and responsibilities. And now you expect me to go to church tomorrow? Really? I have so much on my mind, I will go to church next Sunday. I cannot go now. Which means that the family does not treat the church as an integrated part of the strength. If we are normal, have emotions, or secular hall leaves a taste of pain. And as a society, we are scared of the pain. We don't want pain. We're afraid of pain. And that's why we go and we either use medication, quote-unquote medication, or activities to help us get away from the pain. We don't want pain, because pain is a dead end, we think. Now let's go to the sanctified wholeness, the family that is growing up. The parents are applying that sanctified element. The parents, naturally, when they are half, they are having that kind of language where they will say, I'm going to church, I'm going to talk to Father, I'm going to have paraclesis, I'm going to do this. So it is integrated in their language, that kind of reaching out to the holiness as a source of solution, as a source of empowerment. So what we do here is we have the challenges and responsibilities, same like before. But the family is an extension of the church. And instead of looking at the family as another obligation on top of my complete list, I'm looking at the church as, I can't wait to go there, just to escape from the responsibilities and the challenges. That takes me to purification. Purification means no pain. Purification means oasis. No. I'm going to play a game with you. Purification, if we take, and I'm sorry for, take the P, take the A, take the I, and take the N. There is pain. But I have a plan. I know that the pain is not a dead end. I know that the pain will not swallow me. How? Because I have been incorporating my whole struggles, my whole challenges, and my church is a partner in all this. My priest pretty much knows exactly everything that is going on that is in this family here. So it is my best friend. So I'm going. I can't wait to go to church. Instead, or I cannot wait to go to my priest. Instead of one more thing I have to do. All right, let's go. Why am I doing such a big deal about all this? We all know about challenges and struggles pushing us to the edge and falling on survival mode. Now, what does that mean? That means that my clarity, I'm not clear, I'm not rational, because I'm falling on any kind of thought process that either will make me fight, argue, or run away, fight or fly. We all know that. It is survival mode. Now, I will give you the how you call it, the politically correct phase of fight or flight. What problem? I have to save my pride. So I cannot see any problem. You have the problem. I don't have a problem. What problem are you talking? I'm going to deny the obvious. Because what is important in my definition of whole is I have to have prestige. I have to have reputation. I have to be, and people should respect me. So I'm in denial. Detour. All this happened because of you. I did not cause it. Blaming somebody else. Removing the responsibility for myself. Remember, the only reason I'm doing it is not because I'm weird, but because I'm on survival mode. We all do that. Procrastination. Okay, I'll handle this. And somehow we hope that if we buy time, the problem will go away. And we all know that when we try the problem to go away, the problem gets bigger. With addiction is also something that we say, I have it under control. Okay, if you stop complaining to me, you brought memories when I was working for a methadone clinic. I loved your presentation. If you did not confront me and argue, and if you do not always ask me for money, I will not be drinking that much. It's all your fault. I will go for treatment. I will. But right now, I have this project. Little by little, the problem doesn't go away, and I start internally dying. We heard about that dying today. And the dying is when we secretly realize that we don't have control over the situation. And then we go feeling defeated. And that is where depression comes in, and unfortunately, suicide, and the list goes on, and more drinking and more drugging, and the story goes on and on. And this is what happens out of not only feeling challenged or struggling, but on top of all, I have to save my pride, because that is what is expected of me outside the Orthodox Church. And in some Christian faiths, in my office, I have to, sometimes without acting like, coming from a religious point of view, it is something like, oh, God would not have abandoned me. God would not destroy me. He loves me. He came here for me, and I'm saying, yeah, he did, but he's letting you. Yesterday, we heard a story. Dr. Rossi with the little sheep. I love that story. And it goes here. The story goes with when the one out of the 99 sheep ran away, the shepherd takes it back home and takes it back with him, and because he loves that sheep that much, he lovingly breaks the front leg, and then he takes it on his shoulders. And this is exactly what Jesus does with us. This is exactly what the church does with us. All those catastrophes that we are experiencing, how do we know that these catastrophes are not the light version of what could go wrong? And this is when we have that kind of devastation. We don't have to go through that. Not at all. What I have found out our church is recommending is pray for strength. Be humble. We established that. I somehow made peace that I need to be whole because I cannot stay half because I fall on survival mode. I need to pull strength. I need somehow to get into feeling whole again so I can be functional for me and my family. But this time, how I get whole is, first of all, I make peace with being humble. That means I'm going to pray, first of all, for strength and focus. And that is, it's not only focus, it is also putting the effort to focus, because every part of me says, no, don't do that. You cannot talk about it. Shame on you. You cannot. So I have to put an effort in keeping the focus. And I have to reach out. How? The fathers of the church keep telling us, come for confession, come for confession, come for confession. Now, if we come for confession, our babies in the family, our children, realize that the parents are not perfect. And the parents make mistakes. And in their talk, they say, oh, I have to go to father to talk. And they hear. So it is a soothing part that they don't have to be strong. They come for confession. They talk it out. But they don't talk it out alone. They face and address the truth. And I'm going to explain to you what that means. All right. What is it? All right. This is a nice pencil. I'm going to pick on you, with your permission. This is a nice pencil. It writes well even though it is not sharpened, but it is a really good pencil, and it cannot break because it is good quality. Can you break it? You cannot break it.
It's a nice pencil. I don't want to break it.
You cannot.
No, I can't. I wouldn't.
No. Don't change it for me. You cannot break it because you know that it is a strong pencil, it is a nice pencil, and it cannot break, and you don't want to be embarrassed.
And it serves a purpose. The way it
That's right. That's right, because you cannot, you are in denial.
Actually, I think I'm looking at things the way they really are. It's a pencil.
You're in denial because
works
deep
best when it's
inside
cold.
you don't know, you know that you cannot break it.
I'm in denial, yes.
Right. Anybody else that wants to try? Anybody else that wants to try to break it? I know that you will break it because you're strong. You have muscles, like my grandson would say.
I mean, I could break it right now.
No, you can't.
I really believe I can.
No, you can't.
What if I did?
I don't believe you.
I think I may.
No, you don't. You can. Thank you. How many times our own children have the dialogue, God bless you, I wish the world was just like you, but the world is, don't take it the wrong way, just like him. And the child will say, because mommy and daddy says how wonderful their son is, or their daughter, and they're good in math, and they're good in everything, and they cannot break. And then they go and they talk to, your first name?
Dean.
Dean. And they talk to Dean. And Dean says, I can break you. And I'm saying, no, you cannot. My mommy told me that nobody can break me. Resilience. We are responsible of what we tell our children. Because now, this happened. Because of him. Not because of you. Because of him. It's all his fault. However, our secular world says, where's the trash can? The church said, whoa, stop it. Stop it right now. The church says, then, try, oh, wait a minute. Okay, try to break it.
Oh.
Try to break it. Thank you. It's not only our strength, it's also our cross. It's also our church. I cannot break it. And this is when every time we break in life, that's why when we saw the sanctified church family, they know that they break. They have experienced many deans, not only one. God bless you. I'm sorry for doing this. And they know for a fact they better keep that in close proximity for the sake of the family. All right, I want to go fast because the most important part is what Father will say. When we are like that, our behavior is talk calm, not argue, because that keeps us whole. Don't engage into drama. I'm saying it quickly, you have it with you. You don't have to write it down. Don't engage to drama. Pray so that you will catch your breath, so you will not get through the survival mode. Don't start drama. No matter how right you are, don't start drama, and don't engage into the drama already going. You cannot stop drama with drama. And what this is all about is getting used to that, because it is having coping skills. One is prayer. The second is confession, thinking, having a relationship not only with our church, but having a relationship with each other. Remember, can you imagine, Jesus said, please, Father, I'm paraphrasing, of course, take that cup away from me. I cannot bear the idea of the crucifixion. He said it in his prayer. And then he said, but not my will, thy will. It was in the relationship. How many times we say in the family, you know what? You're not my boss. You're not going to tell me what to do. And that detail of power struggle is the beginning of a lot of marital problems that we see. The Jesus prayer, the brain can do only one thing. Either will pray or will argue. The brain cannot do both. So Jesus prayer really can save words that we cannot take back. When we are in survival mode, we cannot think. And that is the part where we need not to start speaking unless we have clarity in our minds. So make it a rule. This, if I cannot think clearly, keep my mouth shut. Keep my mouth shut. Listen. And you know what? The hardest thing when we are half is to listen, because our inner voice is louder than the voice of the other person. Go buy milk, I explained to you before. Remove myself from the situation, because sometimes my thoughts and my feelings are choking me. So we need to get out. Now, when we go buy milk, what it means is, first of all, we remove ourselves from the heated environment. We can call someone. We can get in the car, drive away, park, and then scream to get the frustration out. Do whatever it takes to catch ourselves into, okay, now I can think. Now I can talk to someone and clear my head. Now, before we continue with Father Christodoulos is going to talk about purification, illumination, and theosis. And I'm going to describe to you why I'm so honored having the church with us. And that is, take one page and pass it around. Father, you will help me with that, right? It is a cross.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Picture, because we don't have time. I don't even know what time it is.
20 minutes.
We have 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
Okay, very quickly. Picture writing down in the four corners what causes you hurt, what causes you anger, what causes you loneliness, and what causes you fear and frustration. Just picture it. At home, please do it. But right now, I need to be quiet. Now, let's say we did that. I want you to take the paper. We are not writing anymore.
Oh.
Take the paper, and no, we're not making airplanes either. And fold it like that. Remember, you wrote in those 4 corners. And then you take that corner and you fold it like that. Are we there? Does it look like mine? Okay, now I want you to close it and do that. Okay, from this, we have this. We're good? Somehow I have not seen Dean doing it yet.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not making a boat. You're not making a boat.
This one goes all the way.
Okay, here.
Ah. Christ.
Okay. Everybody else who has that kind of little airplane? Okay, Nico, can I have yours?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yeah, do that. From the top, cut it a little bit. You want a line all the way down. This part is what you wrote. This is the center of the paper. You have not written in this part. You only wrote in this part. Okay? So I want you to do this. Okay. Either we hold on to this or we see what this is all about. We cannot hold on this and see what that is. So all I offered you up to now is what to do with this paper. What Father is going to offer you is what we do with this. Father. We can all open it. That is what purification is all about. But we have to let go. Put it aside, let it go for the cross. Yes, and Father takes all of the above.
Yes, right.
The church takes all of the above. Listo. Do we need that?
I think that's for the recording.
So, yes.
This experience of being at the OCAMPR conference in 2017 in New Jersey, here at the Ukrainian Orthodox Cultural Center, is just simply something quite phenomenal. And I pray and hope to God that next year there will be at least 1,000 people here, because in these 2 days, a little bit more, so many wonderful things have been said and taught to us and shared with us and hopefully learned a little bit by us. And Ninita's talk to us just now is such an incredible thing if we're willing to take these things in. Each talk got better than the last one, or they're all so very good. I want to thank Nimita personally now with all of you here for inviting me to participate in this particular talk with her. I don't know how I'll exactly be able to add to all the beautiful things she's begun to share with us. The words alone of catharsis, photisis, και theosis, purification, illumination, and deification or theosis, speak a little bit of themselves because they're so beautiful, and they're just the words themselves. It's a shame that we weren't able to attend all of the talks because we had to pick and choose each session. We had 3 or 4 to pick from, and that's all right. That's always a nice challenge, actually, for us to want to be in 2 places at one time. And I'm very, very grateful. I'm very, very grateful to be here, and I thank Ninita again and her family and all of you, and I'm grateful for the people who participate in OCAMPR. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful vehicle of our church, of sharing the light that we have to share with each other and others. That's why I hope there are at least 1,000 people here next year. More than that would be great, but I hope that many will come and receive such light and such beautiful lessons, because everybody has been so sincere and so humbly offering and sharing with us. It's an incredible thing. It really is. In fact, and on this campus of the Ukrainian Cultural Center, it's so beautiful here. It's a paradise-like place, which has helped all of us, just the environment. I will go so far as to say it reminds me of my very, very first early trips to monasteries when I was in my 20s, when I began in a more mature way searching for God's will and understanding where I should be and what I should be doing. And I visited many different monasteries in the world. The particular ones that I'm sharing now are the monastery of Mount Sinai, St. Catherine's, the monastery of Patmos, St. John the Evangelist, and the many monasteries on Mount Athos. And I really feel here, these last 2.5 days, the same feelings, if I may use that word, that I felt then, because we're on holy ground of the church. And it seems to me that all the participants, those people are presenting and hearing here, are all humble, focused people wanting to know God and to know themselves. And that's what I found in each of those monasteries. Humble, devoted people searching to know God and themselves better on the church grounds, on the holy ground of as being church. So I'm glad that probably we'll be here next year, and I'd like to come again if God allows. Maybe I should read something that I thought of now to read. Where are my glasses? My other ones. I lost my other glasses. Oh, here, they're in here. Let's see. About catharsis, and I won't take long. I think, in a way, of course, whatever I think, hopefully it doesn't come from me, but comes from my studies of the Fathers of the Church, my experience as being a spiritual father, which is the grace of God covering me. And so I don't want it to be what I think, actually. Let me read a few things here from the Gospel of the Evangelist Matthew. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and the brothers James and John and led them up a high mountain where they were alone. As they looked on, a change came over Jesus. His face was shining like the sun, and his clothes were dazzling white. This is Transfiguration on Mount Tabor, of course. I'll bypass a lot of that to tell you. Then he came to the end, and the disciples understood. While he was talking, a shining cloud came over him, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my Son, my beloved, with whom I am pleased. Listen to him." And then just after this encounter, Jesus reminded them about his crucifixion, and this is why he wanted to encourage them, of course. When the disciples all came to Galilee after this encounter, he said to them, "The Son of Man is about to be handed over to men who will kill him, but 3 days later he will be raised to life." And the disciples were very sad. They didn't quite understand it at this point. Then they had the small discussion with him about taxes. When Jesus and his disciples came to Capernaum, the collectors of the tax came to Peter and asked, "Does your teacher pay the tax?" "Of course," Peter said. When Peter went into the house, Jesus spoke up first. He said, "Simon, what is your opinion? Who pays duties or taxes to the kings of this world, the citizens of the country or foreigners?" Peter said, "The foreigners." "Well then," Christ replied, "that means that the citizens don't have to pay. But we don't want to offend these people." What a beautiful notion that is, very deep, is very important. Christ's moment here of telling us we don't want to offend these people. "So go to the lake and drop in a line. Pull up the first fish you hook, and in its mouth you will find a coin worth enough for my temple tax and yours. Take it to pay our taxes." It's significant, of course, that Christ is the God of all, and he didn't want to hurt anybody, offend. And then, here's coming the point of my intention here. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus, asking then, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Well, you know what's next. Jesus called a child, had him stand in front of them, and said, "I assure you that unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. The greatest in the kingdom of heaven is the one who humbles himself and becomes like this child. And whoever welcomes in my name one such child as this welcomes me." This notion about becoming like children, I think, is the very root of getting to the point of this first step in the life of spiritual life, of purification, wanting to become like a child. And what is a child? Innocent and pure, not shrewd or manipulative, and so forth. By the way, I wanted to say earlier, one of the other reasons that I feel here, as I did, actually I should all the time, but as I did those many years ago when I was visiting those great, great bastions of spirituality, Patmos, Mount Sinai, and the Holy Mountain, is because here I've felt so much grace and so much love, yes, but I've also felt great, great temptation. And that goes without saying almost, that there's a lot of temptation or sin, Christ says elsewhere, there too grace abounds. So the abounding grace that I've found being here as church and among such devoted and humble people is a great, great help. And it proves what Christ created us as church to do, to give us all strength. So we must become like children if we want to enjoy and understand what the kingdom of God is all about. So as there is not too much time, which I'm very, very grateful for, that I may not have to share too much, and I want to leave a couple of minutes for any questions you might have. I'm going to take 3.5 minutes to share a little song with you. I like songs, and they say so much anyway. It's a song that I learned in Greece that when I was at my monastery on Rhodes, that is so beautiful and meaningful. And then as God allowed me, I made a few more verses and some tweaks to it in English because it couldn't be translated directly and come out as rhythmically or rhymingly. So I think I would like to share this song with you, and I think it will tell us a lot more than I would be able to say in many minutes. And in fact, you can sing back the second part of each verse with me. I'll motion to you how to do that. It's very beautiful. O Lord and Heavenly Father, help me not to live in vain. Give me eyes to see your beauty and lips to praise your name. Give me eyes to see your beauty and lips to praise your name. Forgive my every transgression. Help me seek your saving grace. Put my life back into order that I might behold your face. Put my life back into order that I might behold your face. I've lived a life of pleasure. I've left you, what can I say? Not remembering your own words, I'm the truth, the life, the way. Not remembering your own words, I'm the truth, the life, the way. To the ark of blessed salvation I shall come to receive you. You saved Noah from the flood, through the church you saved me too. You saved Noah from the flood, through the church you'll save me too. Now through baptism unto your death, we do die unto this world. With you we are resurrected, retrieving that wondrous pearl. With you we are resurrected, retrieving that wondrous pearl. Bless our priests to preach your gospel. Through them grant to us your peace. Your own body and precious blood through their hands do we receive. Your own body and precious blood from their hands do we receive. To the Papadeas, the Virgin, for a role model that's true, we do turn for inspiration to the saints who lived for you. We do turn for inspiration to the saints who lived for you. They left everything for your sake. Virtue was their garment new. Kindness, meekness, and compassion, love above all just for you. Kindness, meekness, and compassion, love above all just for you. To a monastery will one go, lifting up his cross for you. Prayer, fasting, and almsgiving shall always be his rule. Prayer, fasting, and almsgiving shall always be his rule. A home church for another shall the battlefield entail. Helpmates in the struggle of life, striving for your holy will. Helpmates in the struggle of life, striving for your holy will. Our one name's your heavenly kingdom. Christ, help us to run the race. Crown us with honor and glory, fill us with your gift of grace. Crown us with honor and glory, fill us with your gift of grace. When a brother sins against us, for your love we must endure. Being patient and most humble, suffering will make us pure. Being patient and most humble, suffering will make us pure. Forgiveness is our great weapon. Christ, help us to follow through. From the cross your own example shows us how we must be too. From the cross your own example shows us how we must be too. Don't be troubled that probably all of us, I know it's true in my own life, will probably most of our lives, if not all of our lives, always be at the stage of purification. But that's okay. That's okay. It's good, however, to know that we can hope for enlightenment and we can hope for Theosis, as God might allow. But being in the stage, the spiritual stage that the Fathers have taught us about, purification, catharsis, is a wonderful, wonderful stage to be in, always striving to cleanse ourselves to be like children. I think now maybe we said with Ninita we would take a few questions if we have time. Probably don't have time.
Short questions.
Yes, short question,
Okay.
whatever. Any questions? No questions, so we're okay.
Yeah, right.